What's up everybody, my name is Elliot and welcome to another vlog on the channel. As you can see behind me, I'm still finalizing the lighting setup in the studio here. We have our lovely model Vanessa standing in for me. I think she does a pretty good job. That's pretty much what I look like, at least on Mondays. But anyway, today what we're going to be doing is heading over to German Motorworks to go see Johnny, the car ninja, who's going to be tearing into that SL600 that I've shown in my last couple of videos. Today is the day we actually find out what went wrong with the car. Supposedly it's just the heater control valve, but Johnny's going to be tearing into it today and we're going to see what really happened. Fingers crossed that the heads didn't get warped or nothing worse. I'm really hoping it's just something simple, but either way, we're going to go check on the car and see what else they've got going on over there at German Motorworks. Let's go! Alright, so we're on the way to Johnny's. Of course we're driving the Prius, and it just kind of dawned on me, there are several repairs that might need to be done to this SL that would easily exceed what I paid for this Prius. And that is just kind of unsettling to think about. The worst thing that this could be is that the heads are warped from being overheated. What I'm really hoping is that's not the case. Hopefully it just was a heater control valve and the coolant kind of spattered out, because I really didn't drive the car for very long while it was being hot and steaming. So fingers crossed that those heads aren't warped and wavy like a piece of crispy bacon and that everything's okay. I'm sure we'll find out exactly what's going on and we will be at Johnny's in just a moment. Alright guys, so we made it to the Ninjas and look, the SL already has the hood up and Johnny's already looking at it. What seems to be the problem? Is it the heater control valve like we thought? Yeah, and it's not my fault?
It's not your fault.
Okay.
No, of course not. It's not your fault.
Good. See, that's the good mechanic relationship you want.
So, it's a very common problem. It's plastic with the heat, cold, just ruptures right here. So there's nothing you could have done. It was going to happen anyway. It was just its time, huh? It was the wrong timing for you, I guess. I was right there when it happened. You did not drive it for more than a mile, and the car never overheated, so the car is fine. I double-checked, triple-checked everything. All the coolant is out. We're gonna have Mercedes coolant in it, so...
Alright, so you guys heard it from the Ninja. So not my fault, and it wasn't that bad, so... Yeah. But now I'm gonna try to lend a hand in actually replacing the part, because I do still take responsibility. It did happen under my watch. Hopefully Johnny will let me help out a little bit. If I get in the way, he'll probably just take over, but let's get this...
It's easy. It's pretty easy to do, so yeah.
Alright, well let's get this valve out, and then the new one in. Should be loose now. See? That's why Johnny does all the work. See?
Mechanics will.
Yeah, and I'll just edit it to this part where I got it right. Okay, now
Same way, but there's one above it too. There's one underneath.
below it. Yeah. That's right. John Ross would have had these bolts off by now. Alright, look at that. I removed 4 bolts. It's helping. That's what you can do here at German Motorworks, if you know somebody. Okay, so we got that shield off. Now we have better access to the... This is what we're actually replacing right here. I'm trying to get that the best we can. There's the new one. So
straight from Mercedes.
it's just there's a clog in there somewhere on this one? Like, is it just one of those things where it gets corroded and...
No, it's plastic.
It just breaks down over time?
Yeah, and BMW is the same way. It's dirt cheap. It's like $60.
Oh, jeez. Here I am worried that I'm gonna have be responsible for a $4,000 repair on this car, and I mean, $60 or so plus labor that I'm helping with. So I hope that cuts down on the price a little bit. Yeah. It's not so bad.
Special pliers.
Special pliers. Those are Mercedes pliers.
No, they're Mac, but
I like to pretend that every tool you use on one of these cars is special. This is Mercedes only pliers. And you can see Johnny has this handy dandy light that clips onto the hood, and it provides light exactly where you need it.
That's amazing.
Hey, good news is there's no coolant in there to spill out. I already took care of that for you.
So basically what we could have done in Oklahoma, but we were running late, we could have just joined these two hoses together
clamped them and then...
Clamped them. I mean, you can go to AutoZone and buy those adapters. And you could have drove it home with no problem.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, we probably should have and could have done that, but,
yeah,
you know.
We went there to have fun.
Yeah.
We can go there to fix cars, so.
Exactly, so it's okay. We're fixing it now.
Yeah, it's easy fix. Really easy fix.
All right, now we can really get a good look at it.
Oh, yeah. You have to be careful not to mix them up because this is a dual climate control. One goes to the passenger side, one goes to the driver's side, so there you go.
All right, let's take a look at this thing. See what we can see. You can see there's some corrosion. Looks like it's from 2008. Makes sense, you know. It's had some coolant pumped through it, but it was done doing that.
Green coolant too.
Oh, I know. The green coolant, the non-Mercedes coolant. Some people in the comments really did not like that any green coolant ever went through this motor, but I can also assure you it didn't. It dumped right out onto the ground. All right, well, Johnny's over there working. Let's see what else we got in the shop. We got an X5. And we also have this Porsche Boxster, which you might have seen in the last Velocity Garage video. That's Mike and Johnny's channel. If you're not familiar with it, I'll put a link in the description below. And we also have the Hoovy's Garage Prowler, which is in for a detail. And this thing, you know, it's one of those colors you really gotta see in person to appreciate. But these cars are just, they're just awesome. They're modern hot rods. I actually did have a poster of one of these on my wall when I was a kid. I mean, they look like a concept car, but for the road. And it's hard to believe they actually got built, but I'm sure glad they did. I mean, it's cool. But anyway, Mike's in here giving that the good polish, and I am taking a break because you saw me. I removed like 4 bolts, and it's time for a beverage break, sponsored by Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's is not paying you.
Jimmy John's is not paying me, but I wish they were. Am I right, Jimmy John's? Look at this gorgeous car. I mean, it really is. I mean, you guys have seen it in my last couple of videos, but it is a good looking car. Hard to be good looking when you're broken, but it's not that broken.
Not anymore.
And we've got the car doctor on it right now.
Not anymore. Done.
Woo! Man, guys, without the magic of editing, I swear that was a fast job. That was 10 minutes at most. That is awesome. So now we just gotta put some coolant in it and give her a whirl. Am I right? Or is there? We got to put some stuff back together, obviously. But we'll give it a once over, put some coolant in it, and make sure it's good to go. It's blue. It's the correct coolant. So fear not, Mercedes purists. Only the bluest of coolant is going into this SL600. Look at that, though. No funnel needed.
Don't jinx me.
So we had to take a brief pause on the Mercedes because Johnny had to do real work, which is draining oil. This is part of running a real shop, right? This is the real work.
Yeah, it is. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of people are gonna ask, Johnny, why didn't you drop the engine for this job? It seems like it would have been easier.
Well, I would have, but the customer is waiting in the office, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, next time.
Okay, so it's just that it's a little faster to do it this way, but it's more thorough to fully drop the motor. Okay, now he's just giving it an inspection, and then we'll be right back to working on the SL. It's almost back together, but as you can imagine, with an engine compartment this compact, there's a lot of little odds and ends that need to go back in place before the car is fully back on the road. Look at that, magnetic light.
And you're driving it afterwards, right?
I'm driving it afterwards.
I'll be in there with you.
Okay, yeah, so Johnny will be my witness. So when this thing's fixed, me and this car are gonna part ways on good terms. You just put in.
Very expensive plastic.
Okay, we got the very expensive plastic put back in place. We got to put the screws back in this shielding here. Nothing's leaking out, so that's always good. So now I'm gonna try to pitch in and screw in the screws that I unscrewed. My little bit of help, yeah. But then we'll get this thing buttoned up and back on the road. Okay, update. I got 2 of my screws in. The engine bay is looking a little bit better. Just need to put the cover back, and Johnny's wrapping up these 2 last screws. Next thing, we'll be getting out on the road and letting it come up to temperature, make sure everything's okay. All done, buttoned up. Okay.
I'll wash my hands, you go drive it.
Johnny says it's done, it's done.
But we're gonna keep the top up.
Oh, yes, please.
2 dudes on a convertible. No,
oh, yeah. We don't want the wrong idea. Oh, did you have the key? good. So far so good. It's not spewing coolant, but let's get it out on the road. Let's get it up to temp and see how it behaves. Okay, Johnny had to take a phone call, so what I'm gonna do is sit out here and let the car come up to temperature a little bit, because if it's gonna have a problem, I'd rather have a problem while we're still here rather than out on the road. But I also have complete faith that it won't have a problem, because Johnny looked it over, he knew what the problem was. Pretty simple fix, and so far so good. It's not leaking coolant, which is a huge improvement, and it's coming up to temperature just fine, so I think this test drive is gonna go smoothly. Alright, so we've been driving for a few minutes now, and everything's looking pretty good. I think normally Johnny would do the driving on this, but he's just here to make sure everything is good. Temp looks good. Car drives fine.
Yeah,
there's never any problem with that, but so far, I mean, we're at highway speeds now. We drove around a little bit in the city. The car is doing pretty well. Looking great. This was the SL that I knew for most of the trip. It was just at the end that we had a little hiccup, and now, what was it, a $60 or $70 fix? And it's
something like that, yeah.
Good to go. Car's running great, and we're gonna make sure to get it, nice and up to temperature, make sure there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. But this car is good to go again.
I got a reflection, but temperature is good.
Yep. So now we'll just head back, and I'll keep you posted if anything else happens on this drive. But I think the car is running right as rain again, and that's the Johnny seal of approval. This car is fine. No. Okay, so we just parked the car, drove it on the highway, gave it a few pulls, anything that would get it up to temperature, and as you can see, it is still perfectly fine. So I would say this is fixed. Good work, Ninja.
You too for your help.
Oh yeah, just the massive amount of help that I did. It was dropping screws, struggling with the little heat shield thing that I did. Hey, at least I was here to see this car get fixed. I didn't just leave it and then wash my hands of it. I wanted to follow up with it like I said I would, and here we are. Car's fixed.
Has plenty of gas because you didn't drive it.
Plenty of gas because I didn't drive it back, and like I said, the temperature still looks great.
Good job, man.
No, you good job. You did all the heavy lifting. I did the screw dropping. Well, guys, that's gonna about do it. I mean, we fixed the SL, or mostly Johnny, but I helped. We drove it, drove fine. Temperature looked good. The car drove great. It always did. It was good that it was something simple. It wasn't like a massive fix. The heads weren't warped on the car. It wasn't like an engine out, terrible thing. It was something small that failed. It just looked like a big problem at the time. But Johnny, as you guys know, the Car Ninja, got it all fixed. He's a freaking expert. He knew instantly what it was and instantly how to fix it. And it was a pretty quick job. I'd say, 30 minutes start to finish, which is, not bad. And the car is good. It's good to go. So I think my saga with that car is done for now, at least. I drove it, I broke it, and fixed it. So not much more I can do with that particular vehicle. Anyway, as you guys can see, it is time for me to get back in the Prius and head on with the rest of my day. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of the other normal YouTube stuff, and I will see you on the next video. This does look out of place. It's the only non-German vehicle here, other than, of course, the Ferrari. But I don't think anybody's gonna kick a Ferrari out of any parking lot, really. But anyway, thank you for watching.